Happy Saturday evening. No, it's not the morning time for Saturday morning stories, but no time like the present. We have an hour and a half before it's a new day, so we're thankful for this time to read about Rebecca Lee Crumpler. Yes, ever since she was young, Rebecca wanted to help people feel better. Even before people knew much about modern medicine, she would not let anyone stop her from becoming the first African American woman doctor in the United States. She even wrote a book so that others could learn too. Meet an important leader, Rebecca Lee Crumpler. I remember reading first about her, just discovering her, and she would have like a bonnet on and a brooch from hundreds of years ago, and I had the honor of making a mosaic. She was one of the featured medical professionals of the Salute to African American Pioneers in Medicine. So I'm excited to read about Rebecca Lee Crumpler. Let's dive in. As we have in the background a Negro spiritual called Ain't It That Good News? Oh, one of my favorites. Okay. Making the grade. Have you ever wanted to help someone but didn't know how? What did you do to learn how to help? Well, Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler wanted to help sick people. She worked hard to become a leader in medicine. Rebecca was nervous. Soon she would start the test needed to officially become a doctor. She would have to answer tough questions to prove she knew about medicine. Rebecca knew that some people did not think she should become a doctor because she was black. But she was ready to prove them wrong. Yeah. Don't we know that we have to put forth a lot of effort? Black doctors needed. During Rebecca's lifetime, people were still learning basic things about how the human body worked. A lot of medicines and tools had not been invented yet. Almost all doctors were men. There were no black doctors at all in the United States until 1837. White doctors often would not take care of black people. Yep, this is the history, the legacy of hard work. Instead, many black people went to healers. Healers had not gone to medical school, but they were good at taking care of sick people. Rebecca lived with her aunt, who was a healer in their community. Many people came to her aunt's house when they were sick. Young Rebecca was good at helping with taking care of them. She had the gift of hospitality and helps. She was a pioneer. Rebecca began working as a nurse after she grew up. People told her that she should be a doctor. They thought she should go to medical school at the New England Female Medical College. Well, in 1860, she was accepted. Now let's see, that is over 160 years ago. 163 years ago to be exact. There were 54,000 physicians in the United States then. Only 300 of the 54,000 were women, and none of those 300 were black. When she finished medical school, Rebecca would be the first black woman doctor in the whole entire country. Rules of medicine. Until 1847, there were no rules saying that all doctors had to have the same kind of education. Some doctors went to school for a long time. Others took only a few classes before treating sick people. But again, out of 54,000, no black women. Life as a doctor. Rebecca kept taking care of sick people while she learned how to be a doctor. Many lives, including Rebecca's, changed in 1861. This was the start of the Civil War in the United States. People from the North and the South fought each other. Soon, many black women or black veterans became sick and injured. Racist white doctors still would not help them. Black doctors were needed. Rebecca would be a more important leader than ever. You see her? During the Civil War. Remember the time when, back then, when she was very helpful to her aunt? Yeah, it paid off. Yeah, she had to have endurance and perseverance. Rebecca was a very good student. She won a scholarship to help pay for school. For 4 years, Rebecca studied hard. Her final test was coming up. She had to pass it to become a doctor. What did you think happened? Her track record. Rebecca stayed up late the night before the test. She studied and prepared. The next day would make a big difference in her future and in the future of the country. She wanted to be a leader in healing. Would the school let a black woman become a doctor? Well, you have to build that muscle, that habit. The big day had come. The classroom looked huge without any other students. It was just Rebecca. There's the bonnet that I was just talking about. It was just Rebecca, 2 other white students, and doctors from the school. The doctors would decide if she passed the test. Rebecca took a deep breath before answering. She thought and remembered what she had studied, because she was a hard worker, and gave the best answers she could, because she put forth effort in her studies, and she developed a habit of rigor. The doctors were not sure that Rebecca should pass the test. Some of them said that she did not learn quickly enough, but it is likely that the doctors simply did not want to let a black woman become a doctor. And we know sometimes we might have opposition, but does it look like that she lost her smile and her focus? Rebecca's teachers spoke to the people running the school. They said that Rebecca knew medicine. They said she would make a good doctor. The people running the school changed their minds. Rebecca earned a Doctor of Medicine degree. She was the first African American woman to earn the degree. She had done it. Passing the test. Modern doctors must take many tests before they can treat people. In the United States, a person with a medical degree must take a 3-part test before they can work as a doctor. Yeah, it takes a lot of focus and many nights staying up, but it's worth it at the end. Maybe that's not your goal. Still, stay with it. Stick-to-itiveness. When the war ended, Rebecca worked for the Freedmen Bureau in Richmond, Virginia. Other doctors treated her badly. Male doctors made mean comments and jokes about her. When she ordered medicine at the pharmacy, the people working there ignored her. Oh my goodness. But Rebecca did not stop. She stuck with it. She was going to heal people. She was determined. There she is. Rebecca went on to work in Boston, Massachusetts. She mostly treated women and children. She took care of many black patients. She taught them about prevention so they could avoid getting sick. So even in the face of so much bad treatment, she continued. Look at this. Rebecca put all her notes and ideas about medicine into a book. A Book of Medical Discourses was one of the first medical books written by an African American. People remembered Rebecca long after she died. A group called the Rebecca Lee Society of Women in Medicine was made to help African American women working in medicine. Today, many people continue to honor Rebecca as a caring doctor and leader. These are her words. I early conceived a liking for and sought every opportunity to relieve the suffering of others. What can we say we are seeking every opportunity to do? Yeah, she had perseverance. Let's look at her timeline, her trajectory of her life. In 1831, Rebecca Davis was born on February 8th. Oh, that's coming up. In Christiana, Delaware. She is raised in Pennsylvania by her aunt. Rebecca marries Wyatt Lee. She works as a nurse for the next 8 years. Rebecca is accepted into New England Female Medical College in 1860. So in 1852 is when she got married. So she was 21. And then she was accepted in college at the age of 29 in a medical college. 1863, Rebecca's husband dies from complications from tuberculosis. So she was 32 at the time. In 1864, the next year, 33, Rebecca completes 3 years of medical classes and takes her final exam in February. On March 1st, the Board of Trustees names her a Doctor of Medicine. This makes Rebecca Crumpler the only African American woman to graduate from New England Female Medical College. In 1866, age 35, Rebecca begins working for the Freedmen Bureau. 1873, which is like 42 years old, the New England Female Medical College closes due to financial issues without graduating another African American woman. The college is joined with the Boston University School of Medicine. In 1883, when she was around 52 years old, Rebecca publishes a Book of Medical Discourses using the notes she kept over the courses of her medical career. That's why it's really important to keep journals. Yeah, she was able to do that. 1895, let's see, she was 64 years old. Rebecca dies on March 9th in Fairview, Massachusetts. And 1989, 160 years afterwards, the Rebecca Lee Society is formed as a group for African American women in medicine. Rebecca's home is selected as a stop on the Boston Women's Heritage Trail. Wow, you're talking about a life well lived in only 64 years of life. Freedmen Bureau was a United States government program that gave food, clothes, and helped people, especially African Americans, after the war. Yeah. And we're familiar with community physicians, prevention, racism, scholarships, and veterans. Listen, all of us can learn very difficult subjects if we persevere, like Rebecca Lee Crumpler, and we can do great things. About the author, J.P. Miller is a debut author in children's picture books. She is eager to write stories about little and well-known African American leaders. She hopes that her stories will change the classroom experiences, educate and inspire readers. J.P. lives in Metro Atlanta, Georgia, and enjoys playing pickleball and swimming in her spare time. Well done, J.P. Miller. And as far as the illustrator who created these beautiful pictures, Markia Janai was raised in Detroit during rough times, but she found adventure through art and storytelling. She grew up listening to old stories of her family members, which gave her an interest in history. Drawing was her way of exploring the world through imagination. Beautiful job, ladies. J.P. Miller and Markia Janai. Now let's go persevere and make some dreams come true. Good night.